Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Game Day Squad's Aussie Rules live stream. It has been a very, very, very long time since we've been on. Kerm, mate, first of all, how are you going? Are you ready to rip into this live stream session?
Mate, 100%. Did you choose those intro songs just quietly? To anyone not privy, peek behind the iron curtain, that was the first time I'd heard those songs.
Maybe, yeah, I might have.
That was awesome. That first one was like, I don't know, it's a Rory McIlroy golf tournament video game type-esque song. So, no, that got me pumped. I'm keen.
Yeah,
I'm keen.
Well, I think I know why else you're pumped, man. It's because we got the start of the Aussie Rules season here upon us. My Swans are taking on the Demons tonight.
Yep.
Just for context, myself and Cal would normally be on this live stream. Kerm has come in as a super sub for this week to sub in for Cal because he's actually at the SCG and he's going to be watching the game. But we are here, of course, because of Game Day Squad. If you're not sure already, make sure you sign up to Game Day Squad. We are the only fantasy sports platform that is doing round zero for fantasy. We're giving away prizes. We can't wait to get into this session. We're going to take you through our teams. We're going to take you through some rankings today. And of course, we're going to give out some player cards. So make sure you stick around for that because we're going to do it a little bit differently this year as we did to last year. But I'll get into all of those details later. Oh, I am so pumped for this season. Honestly, I just cannot wait, man.
Where do you want to start off with some rambling? Should we ramble for a little bit? Like,
let's have a little ramble. Go on.
Where does the kid where's the first bounce AFL footy season start? Where does that rank in like the calendar year of milestone days? You got your Christmases, you got your birthdays, you got all these celebrations. Where does footy rank for you? Because mate, like it might just be recency bias, but it's just magical, isn't it? Like you played footy for a long time. I played footy growing up. Like the first bounce of footy, it just never goes away. Like I'm interested to know where you're at with that because as of right now, it's hard to beat.
Desync saying they'll prob stuff up the first bounce anyways, let's be honest. I've never seen a truer statement in my life. They 100% will. But you know what, Kerm, you're right with the whole like build up into the season. It's like you do preseason. You get preseason for footy. It feels like it drags on, doesn't it? You're there forever. You're like, why the hell am I running all these laps? Why the hell am I doing all of this? It just felt like this off season for me. And now we're finally here. This past week has bloody flown, mate. Like it felt like it was like last Thursday, only yesterday. But Kermie, let's get into it. We're going to start off this round zero, with a really hot take or something that we wanted to highlight in particular. And my big story of round zero, which I think is going to be the story for a lot of people, is how will Clayton Oliver start this fantasy season? Now, I want some comments in the chat right now. How do we think Clayton Oliver is going to start? Is Clary going to average? Let's go 120 plus to start off the year, the first couple, which is a great mark to get. I think he averaged about 131 last year, roughly off the top of my head. So let's go. We're going over or under for 120 plus to start off this season. But that's my big question, Kurt. What do you think, first of all? Do you think Clayton Oliver is going to come out firing? He's had a bit of a shaky off season, or are you a little bit scared of his potential, at least to start? Because he might get it going as the season progresses and he gets that match fitness in him.
I feel like it's hard not to be scared, right? Because there's so many question marks about what is actually going on or what has happened. It seems like at least that things have been put behind him, whatever those things are. Still have no idea what the hell happened. But it's Clayton Oliver at the end of the day. You got to think he finds the footy early on in the season. And in a game day squad sense, if you got him, you start him. It's as simple as that. So that's if I had to put my money where my mouth is, I'd say he goes over pretty comfortably because, Clayton Oliver's going to Clayton Oliver, you know what I mean?
You know, one thing you don't want to see is this comment right here. That's up on the screen right now. Hammy in the second. I hope not, because
man.
Someone actually commented, I'm playing him. It's desync again. And we'll get into my team later, but maybe I'm as well. So I hope I don't see that happen. That would be a horrible start to my round. That is for sure. But Kerm, talk about your big highlight for round zero, mate. Hit me.
Jack Billings listed as a sub. I know you called me the super sub at the start of this live show here, but Jack Billings, I don't know. We'll get into our teams later on in the live show, but Jack Billings listed as a sub is a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought he's shown enough in the preseason to be listed. I know, at least on the bench, ready to go. But yeah, to me, super surprising. I'm pretty keen to see how it shakes out. I know we've only got a few minutes to adjust teams and all that sort of thing and see how things play out. But yeah, weird one. Jack Billings signing from St Kilda, starting as a sub for Melbourne. A lot of questions.
It is strange. It is strange to have a signing and come in and have a pretty good preseason from the, all things said and done, and then to not even be able to crack in. But, maybe it's just a growing pains thing, learning the system. Like, I know they've had an off season, but maybe that role develops as the year goes on. But definitely a shocker. Definitely a shocker, Kerm. But, mate, I reckon we get into our teams because I think a lot of people are here because of that. And then later on, they're itching for those card giveaways. So let's talk about my team first. Now, I've identified 3 key things that I want to talk about in here. The first one is all of your teams this week, Shai Bolton is a must start. Absolute must start in my eyes. I think he is in for a huge year, first of all, but with how thin the forwards are this week, considering we only had 8 teams to choose from, if you don't have a Shai Bolton in your team, I personally feel like you're starting on the back foot. Yes, I know they're versing the Suns, and sometimes those games can be slow, can be stoppage to stoppage, just like the way that it's played. But Shai Bolton's going to get a good string of midfield. He also can score very effectively whilst playing as a forward. He runs up the ground. He gets involved, can kick a sausage roll or two. You can see I have a gold card of his in my squad. That's how highly I think of him. I think this week, and if you're looking at my squad, you're probably like, why are there so many gold cards? I think my strategy this week is literally identifying the players who I think are going to score the highest in their positions and giving them their gold card and starting them off. Okay. Taranto, Nick Dacos, Lockie Whitfield, Shai Bolton. They're all my gold cards. They're the people I think are going to be best in their positions for this week. I've got my all-star Errol Goulden, my pride and joy sitting there in the midfield as well. But my second point is Petrarca or Oliver. I want to know firstly, the people who are starting Oliver or Track, are you starting one or the other? And let me know who that person is. Or are you confident in going both tonight and going, I'm going to chuck Petrarca and Oliver into my squads? Because I personally think you need to choose one or the other. Kerm, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm a little bit down on Petrarca going into this season. For no actual particular reason, which is really good analysis. I know we're supposed to actually talk about, the ins and outs of this, but it's just a feeling thing and I thing. So it's just, I'm a little bit down on him, and Oliver, there's so many question marks as well. But between the two, I think Oliver has shown historically that he's going to find the footy almost guaranteed. So I would go Oliver over Petrarca, but you're probably right. Sure. I don't know. I probably wouldn't start both. You're probably putting too many eggs in one basket in that midfield tonight against the Swans. I know they got some injuries and a lot of question marks themselves, but yeah, I'd probably pick Oliver out of the two.
Mark calling me out here. Nank is probably the worst pick. He's not even playing. I don't know why he's a no start for me. I don't know if you saw my preseason video, but I don't know how he's made it into my squad. He's definitely not playing though. He's definitely not in my squad now. This must be
definitely not playing.
No, but he's definitely not playing for my squad anytime this year after what he did to Jake Lloyd last year. I can't believe I put that grub even on the bench.
Doesn't hold a grub.
He doesn't even deserve that spot, man. Get that guy out of here. Oh, that makes me sick looking at it. I can't even. Mark, but good shout out. Good call. Third thing, Sam Doherty as a mid. Now, great last year. Sam Doherty, absolute must start. I actually have him in my squad right now. I feel like this is one of those players, though, that as it creeps up to the first bounce of that game, that I might pull the pin on this decision. I would really like to play maybe a Chera. Mm-hmm. Would have loved to play Walsh, I'll be honest with you. But again, Walsh isn't playing this week. So I wouldn't mind playing a Chera there, but I only have a gold Chera. So I can't actually fit him in terms of salary cap. I'm on the dot right now for this. And a lot of the silvers you see in my squad, I don't have their bronze. So I actually don't have the option to chop and change. Kerm, without getting too far into your team, what do you think about Sam Docherty, at least for this round? Is he startable, or are you looking elsewhere in terms of production? That's what I want to know.
Doc as a mid is just gross. I mean, we're talking about the number one defender coming into last year. This time last year, he was in everybody's team. They're D1. And I think if you're going to play him, it's going to be round one, or as long as Sammy Walsh is out, and you want to get a look at what this midfield is actually going to turn up like, because you don't know, like George Hewitt, where's he going to play? Obviously, you spoke about Chera, Paddy Cripps. You got to think he gets a start in the guts. So there's a lot of question marks about this midfield with Sammy Walsh out. But Docherty is a proven scorer. Your safest bet is to play him round one, see what he's like. I don't think he's going to burn you too hard. He should still have a pretty high floor, play that sort of linking role between the defense and the midfield once again, break the lines into forward 50 with his kicking ability. I think you're onto something. He's a bit of a pod, to be honest. Obviously, he's a bit of a pod. Not many people are going to be starting Sam Docherty in their midfield, so you might get a leg up there.
Well, just think, like, some of the players that haven't made this midfield. Took Miller.
Yep. All Suns.
All the Suns. Noah Anderson didn't get in there. The grass eating. Matty Rowell. You never know. Maybe you want to play him as a bit of a pod. Josh Dunkley. What about him? I just think I have a little bit more confidence. I don't think Sam Docherty's in and has that huge ceiling like some of these other mids, but I do think that he has a pretty safe floor. Mm-hmm. And with the squad that I've assembled, I think that's what I'm looking for in that position. So I'm pretty confident in starting Docherty, but that's for now. You know what your mind can do. Your mind can play some twisted games as it gets up to the bounce. But Kerm, enough about my squad. I want to see your squad. You ready?
Yep.
Talk us through it, mate.
Pretty vanilla team with some interesting picks sprinkled in there. Yeah, we mentioned Chera before. I've gone Chera over Docherty. I've gone a full bronze midfield. I think I don't know. Midfields, I think, are going to be pretty similar this week. So I've gone to go a little bit left field in terms of who I've selected and their tiers as well. But starting at number one, find a way to get Jayden Short into your team. We saw in the preseason that Short is back to his quarterbacking ways off the halfback flank for the Richmond Tigers, and it is exciting. And honestly, Jayden Short historically, again, has been such an immense player for fantasy, and his midfield minutes last year did sort of tarnish his fantasy production, and his playability. He was listed as a midfielder from memory, I think, last year as well. So it was hard to play him, but we know that his scoring power is so big. His ceiling is as high as anyone's, especially in the defensive line outside of your Nick Dacos's, etc. But I really, really, really do think that Jayden Short has the ability to become a top 5 defensive player again in 2024. And he might just be that set and forget guy outside of the likes of, once again, your Nick Dacos's, maybe your James Sicily's and Tom Stewart's as well. So I'm excited by Short's prospects.
Mate, can we answer some questions quickly before we get into your point 2?
Yeah.
Firstly, surely Dusty is gone as well. He might be. Look, he's
gone. He's not playing.
Officially. Oh, gosh. When I put my team today, he was still questionable, as some would say. But now
the team lists are already causing headaches.
I know. Gosh, I need to go in, fix that one. But Dusty is gone. I will need to find a forward. You know who could be a play, Kerm? I don't see him in your team. Actually, I do see him in your team. Sexton.
Yes.
That might be the player for me to come in. I want to pull up this question as well, Kerm. I want your thoughts on this. Do you think Salem gets any midfield minutes, or is it just because of Oliver's absence throughout the preseason, mate? What do you think?
Tough question. I think he does get some midfield minutes, and I think it's just his usage by foot inside 50. I think that was something that the Demons identified last season, was their entry inside 50 by foot was just not up to league standard. So yeah, it's an interesting one. You've got to think that Viney gets midfield minutes as well. I think Viney's listed at the half forward flank on the team lists, and Salem is listed as a center. Obviously, you don't really read into those sorts of things, especially this time of year. You'll do yourself more harm than good. But I do think he will get some midfield minutes. He will get some CBAs. and use that ball inside 50 like he usually does. So he's a play for me if you got him. If I had him, I actually don't have his card. If I had him, he would be starting over the likes of Lockie Ash and Zach Williams. So and Connor Buderick as well. So I'd be playing him if I had him.
There you go. Love it. And yeah, I do think he gets midfield time, but I am worried about how effective he can be in that midfield with so many good players.
Yeah.
As you spoke about, Oliver, Petrarca, Viney, you know they're going to get their time in there. They're going to get their minutes. But there is an opportunity for a fourth string, a consistent role in there. If he can play off the outside of these players, they're all hardball get type of players.
Mm-hmm.
They all want to get in the contest, flick it out. If Salem is that guy that gets fed, then he could have a pretty good year. That's exciting to think about. But Kermy, Flanders on your bench. I've just looked at your team. No Flanders, which
no Flanders
hurts me a little bit. What's off you? Talk to me about this.
The preseason game scared me, and I know that's silly. Yeah, it really did scare me. And based off last season's scoring, he's a starter in my forward line. You see, I've got Paddy Lipinski, Zorko, Rayner, Haney. He starts over these type of operators, but I guess I'm scared of the whole Damien Hardwick fantasy scoring in the midfield type history.
He's gotten to you already.
Yeah,
at the start of the season.
100%. And the preseason game scared me as well. Outside of Took Miller, no midfielders sort of stood up and showed me anything. So yeah, I'm taking a punt on Noah Anderson. I didn't want to take a punt on Flanders as well. So that was sort of my thinking building this out.
And you saw my squad before. Just my quick opinion. I think he's a must-start. I'm not going to buy into it. I need to see it before I believe it personally. I think the end of Flanders' season last year was just too amazing to not have him. At least put him in, because if he does continue that form from the end of last year, he's going to be a must-start in your squads, not only for this round, but for rounds coming up. But I do see your concerns, Kerm, and I completely understand it. But, mate, you only got into your point 1. Why don't you take us through point 2 and 3?
Yeah, well, it sort of leads into it. It's round 0. Take some chances. I'm taking a chance at not starting Sammy Flanders. Taking a chance. That could be a bit of a spectrum playing Cam Rayner. Again, just excited by his preseason game, his scoring. I actually am super, super intrigued to see where he actually plays in an actual league game. He's shown so much promise in the past. He's also not shown a lot of promise in the past, so he's so confusing. But no, I'm excited to see how he goes. Taking a chance with Buderick, taking a chance with Anderson. So just have a little bit of fun with it. You got time to make it up in the later rounds. Exactly. Obviously, these scores do count towards your seasonal score and your weekly score and all that sort of thing. But if there's ever a time to, experiment before everyone's team gets a little bit too vanilla towards the business end of the season, it's now. And maybe that pays off in a big, big way. So take some chances. And number 3 here, why Adam Chera? And we spoke about it a little bit with Doherty as well. Sammy Walsh is out. I had a Doherty card, turned him up for an Adam Chera. I just think Chera's got the highest ceiling of the remaining Carlton midfielders. We spoke about Cripps, we spoke about Doherty, we spoke about Hewitt. But I just think that Chera's got the higher ceiling. And if he can find the footy, I'll be a pretty happy man with that decision. So, yeah, that's the team going into round 0.
Love it, Kerm. Love it, mate. Let's move her along. We are 25 minutes away from the first bounce.
Damn.
I am itching, but we're introducing something a little bit different this year, Kerm, on the live stream. We're going to talk about Tom's tiers, and I want to give you some context into what my tiers are and why you want to know them. What they are and what they're going to indicate is how much salary cap am I willing to spend on one particular player coming into my team. So if someone goes into my silver team, I wouldn't start over their silver ideally. And so on and so forth. Let's rip in, Kerm. These are my silver players for this week. This is a round 0 special. In my personal opinion, I would not be starting over a silver for any of these players just because there's a bit of risk, like Grundy. Do we think I actually have Grundy and Gawn at the moment, but I'm a bit nervous. Is like, can they both explode? And is it worth spending salary cap on a player like Grundy in a really tough matchup? Probably not. That's why I have him here. Noah Anderson, Took, Powell, Sexton, Dunkley. This is the list. This is the list that I've built of cards that I would still be starting. I'd still be playing these cards, but I just couldn't reason doing like my strategy. You know how I did with the golds, and I spread those golds around. These wouldn't be my gold players.
Okay. I'm keen to see who you got ahead of these guys. Players like Grundy for me, he was probably the number one, the first pick I had in my team.
Wow.
So
okay, they're cool. They're cool. I think for the season, I'm loving Grundy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm literally just looking at this round, these matchups, and what I think. So let's not you're not going to see any of the other teams, right? And that's intentional.
Exactly.
Right? Here's my golds.
Ash.
It's funny because I have Coleman in here and I don't have a Coleman. You actually went heavy on a Coleman. You're really excited.
I'm so high on Coleman, bro. I
think it's worth it. I think it's worth at least spending a gold on him. I like the play this week. Gawn. I think Gawn's going to win that matchup tonight. That's personally just why I have him one tier above Grundy. Both of them could play great. I just think Gawn has more upside. And if I'm going to spend the salary cap, it's with Gawn.
Yep.
Short. The boy you just spoke about. The man.
He's good.
Excited for his season.
He's a good footy player, isn't he?
I like what I saw from Ash at the end of last season. And Zorko. Now, you're going to see a bit of a theme coming on here, but what I have done is I think, personally, you should be spending salary cap on positions like your forward. Forwards you should be spending salary caps on, or your highest averaging players, because they're your biggest point of difference. Even in defense as well. You want the players who are going to score the most, because a lot of the midfielders, especially last year, yes, there were better midfielders and there were top ones like your Gouldens, like your Bonts, but they all average around that 125 mark at least. And, the difference between your top mid and your 10th ranked mid is a lot closer than that is for the forwards and defenders. So my point of difference that I'm identifying in this round is more salary cap on your defenders, more salary cap on your forwards.
Yeah, fair enough.
That being said, let's get into my forwards and some of the other players. Dustin Martin's now out, which kills me. I should have checked the list. Sorry, I just ran back from the office. But excuse him. Flanders, Newman, Toby Green, James Jordan. Am I getting a little bit too excited by seeing Jordan starting off in the midfield?
No, I think Jordan's going to be a very, very, very good pick. While Parker's out. The name I see here is Newman. I think I'm a lot lower on Newman than a lot of other people. Zach Williams coming back in. We spoke about Doherty, what role he's going to play with Sam Walsh out still. But yeah, Newman, I think I'm quite low on. I don't think I have him. I don't have him in my team at the moment.
Very cool.
Another player in defense that I'm keeping an eye on for the Carlton Blues is Brody Kemp. And I think he can sort of make a role for himself in that defense and start playing that intercept, kicking outside 50 role. But Newman, for me, just a little bit worried about it. Rather wait and see.
Fair call. Fair enough. Lots of faith in Jordan. Desync. Love it. Yes. I can't wait.
It's hard not to get excited by him at the moment.
Especially when he's on ball. You just... Exciting. Mark Jones. Newman is a no from me. And fair enough. We'll see. Maybe I'll bite my tongue at the end of this round and go, what the hell was I thinking? But I just see if Doherty continues to play in the midfield, I'm just literally hoping that Newman subs into the Doherty role. That's happened over the past couple of years. He's getting a bit older, as we know, with Newman. So there's not many amazing years left. But I think this is going to be one of the good ones that he still has under his belt. But let's move it on. Let's get into my diamonds.
Man, you're high on Bolton.
Interesting list of diamonds. I'm very high on Bolton. I'm very high on Taranto. I think Tom Green, we all know Tommy Green. Yeah. Look, come on, let's not get that twisted. And Lachie Whitfield as a defender this year. I'm massive on him this round. I think round 0, you get someone like Lachie Whitfield in your squad, it's money. Yes, he's going to have a wing role, and sometimes you get a bit scared with the players on the wing. But Errol Gulden plays in the wing. I think he did pretty bloody good in 2023, if you don't ask me.
Yeah, I fully expect Whitfield to play a pretty defensive role, which makes me a little bit worried about Ash, and I've got Ash in my team. But just how that dynamic's going to work out with Himmelberg, I think is going to be playing a centre-half back role. Whitfield's going to be back there. And then when Isaac comes back in, it makes it even harder to justify these guys. But I think you're right. I think Whitfield's going to be that standout player in defense that we're going to be reliant on for selection, probably most weeks, to be honest.
Yep. Auntie Booger. Tracker, Taranto. Track was in this list. He was just in the silver range. I've got Taranto right here, though. So I guess that gives you my thoughts, at least on this round. Taranto's easily, in my opinion, the higher upside play, and that's the person that I want in my squad.
Good footy player.
Here we go. Decing Tommy Green for the Brownlow. Gosh, he could do it.
And the Normie. Damn.
Wow. He's huge, but man, he could do it.
Yeah, he could.
He could do it. So look, another one here. Currently have Sard over Newman. Wow. Look, they both... Sard is just... Ooh. I don't know. Newman, I think, just has it's the floor. It's like that, what I spoke about before. Higher floor for Newman, higher ceiling for Sard. Sard could have one of those games where he goes silly. Goes real silly and scores massive. But I think Newman just can lock him in for like a 110 this week, a 100, and I'm taking that.
At what point do we think a lot of these Carlton defenders are going to be pretty boom or bust? And by that, I don't think there's going to be players that aren't going to be startable. But I'm just thinking, you bring in Sard, you bring in Brody Kemp, who I think will have good weeks. You bring in Zach Williams, you got Sam Doherty. It's just, at what point are there too many cooks in the kitchen, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and probably something to think about for a lot of people. Obviously, round 0, you've got to start some of these guys, tough times, cost of living in AFL fantasy, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just something to think about.
Auntie Booger, subbed in Taranto. That's going to be a great choice.
That's on you, Tom.
If it doesn't work out, please don't come to me. No, I'm joking. I'm super high on Taranto this week. But I have another tier. Because in GameDay squad, we have legends. And if I somehow had a legend on one of these cards, firstly, I'd nearly drop dead of excitement. Second of all, I would be starting these two players. These are my two best players for the round. I think Errol Goulden, Nick Dacos are just easily above and beyond everyone else. And if you were going to go out and spend salary cap on any two players, it starts off with the two right in front of you right now. Yeah.
We're going to talk about these guys a lot throughout the season. I don't think everybody sort of knows where we think about these guys. So, yeah.
Look, Kerm, this is what everyone's been waiting for. We've got a lot of people here watching right now. I want people to start commenting because what we're going to do is we're going to give away some cards here. So I want some comments down below. We're going to pick some of the comments to give cards to because we're going to open up some blind packs. And Kerm, how this is going to work is we're going to have a 3-player common pack each. We're going to open it without knowing what's next, and we're going to have to make a decision. Are we going to sell it on the transfer market for 1 cent? Are we going to keep the card for ourselves, or are we going to trade it to the person that you've nominated in the chat?
Okay. We're going to get a legend this year because we did it every single week last year. We didn't get a legend. We're going to get a legend this year. It might even be that Nick Dacos card. So I'm excited, man.
Let's get her up.
Are you going first?
Well, seeing as you're the guest, I reckon you can decide. Would you like me to go first?
Oh, you go first. You go first.
Okay.
I'm a little bit... Yeah, you go first.
Alrighty. Legend, we are due from last year. That is absolute facts. And that's the energy that I need right now. I'm going to pause because I'm waiting for some comments. I need to pick someone.
We didn't get the animation we wanted.
No.
I'll just say that.
We didn't.
And just while we're waiting as well, it's nice to see so many names from last year back in the chat. It's thank you for joining back in round 0. We're excited for the season. A lot's changed in GameDay squad. So thank you guys for joining back in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I just think that the biggest thing is our prizes. And if you haven't checked out our prizes, please, you need to go pick the prizes. But alrighty.
Let's do it.
Who should I pick here? I'm gonna go with the Patterns, I reckon. The Patterns is gonna be the person that I'm going to trade a card to.
Let's go.
Now, I'm going to open up this first card.
Dougal Howard.
And I'm going to sell that for 1 cent on the transfer market. All right.
Nice.
I've made my decision very quickly here. All right. I don't need to think that one over very, very
charitable,
much.
Tom. Oh, okay. I like Jai Caldwell. He's listed as a forward, silver.
I was almost wanting to keep in the hopes that I get a better card for the patterns. If you're here, the patterns, what would you like that? Just give me a hint. Maybe I can help you out. Or would you like to take a little bit of a risk? Because I was almost going to take that for myself in the hopes that I've got something juicy for you right in the end. You know what? I'm confident. I'm going to keep that myself. I've got something better.
It's a silver as well. Lockie Weller.
Gosh, it's tough because coming off
this off season.
It's hard because coming off a significant injury, he's playing fantastic before that as well. Just mind you, in the defense, I think that Weller he's going to take some time. Let's be honest. Coming off was it an ACL?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was an ACL. Tough injury to come back from, especially, there's some growing pains when you get back in. But hopefully, the patterns, that's going to become a good card for you. I'm sorry I couldn't do better. I was really trying to channel some English vibes. I wanted to TV English then, but anyway. Kerm, it's off to you, mate. Would you like to nominate someone first of all in the chat, and then we'll get this animation going because hopefully it's a big one.
Kick round 0 off with Mark Jones. So we'll send one of these cards to Mark Jones.
Absolutely.
Again, not the animation we want, man.
For everyone that's new here, so depending on the animation that you get for these packs will guarantee a certain level for the card. So if that animation there, the highest you can get is a gold. There's another one where the cards swirl around the pack. That would be a platinum at least. And one where the pack explodes and comes back in is what we're looking for. Now, that's either a diamond or a legend. And one way we'll do it. One day, we'll do it. I promise you that.
All right, who we got?
Let's start it off from the front. Here we go.
Oh, I'll put that on the market for a cent.
Yeah.
I surely we got to do better than that.
Oh, goodness. Come on. We can't start off the year with some duds.
What are we doing here?
You take that for yourself.
That is... I can't give one of our loyal listeners that. That's just disrespectful.
Absolutely. All right, ready?
So I'll take that for myself.
Ready? Show us some good vibes. Come on. Marchbank.
At least it can only get better. That's all I'll say. At least the next time I'm on it.
My pack didn't quite live up to what I wanted, but I don't think yours quite lived up to what we were hoping for as well. I'll be in touch with you if you have got a card, and right after the show as well, I will be listing the cards for 1 cent. So if you do want to pick up it's a cent, it'll be there as soon as we log off and just before the center bounce. But speaking of the center bounce, Kerm, we are rapidly approaching. I've got one more thing for us to go through, and we are going to go watch the game. Kerm, I've got some trade battles. I just want to quickly know what side of the fence you'd want to be on. So if you're a game day squad coach, like you are, you're going to make a decision. Do you want to be on left side, right side? Here we go.
Kitty Coleman gold, Tuke Miller silver, Nick Newman plat, and then a full Richmond side here. Jaden Short silver, Daniel Rioli silver, and diamond Tim at Taranto. I know you're super, super, super high on Daniel Rioli. You are.
I think a lot higher than everyone else.
Yes.
It seems that way at least.
You own Daniel Rioli Island. I'm super high on Coleman. Obviously a Suns fan, Tuke Miller, but you can't leave that diamond Taranto behind.
So you're going for the one card here. The one card play. Go the diamond. Better that trumps all. Need to take that.
Yeah, you got to. And Jaden Short as well. As I said, I think he's I don't even think it's a smoky at this point. I think he's a really, really good chance of becoming a top 3, top 5 defender this year. So, right side for me.
Fair call. I think I'd go right side as well. But I'll tell you what, if I was new, that left side, that little care package right there, that would plug extremely well into your squad. Like getting that depth rather than having just. I think it's a bit harder for you. You played for a while now, so it's a bit different. But let's go to the next one.
Gold Rankin, bronze Green, Tom Green, obviously Tom Green. When we spoke about our midfielder rankings and tiers earlier in the preseason, I had Tom Green, I think, ranked first. In my midfielders group.
You did.
But yeah, you got to go.
Rankin's spicy this year. I like the preseason.
Yeah, getting some CBAs in preseason.
Yes.
But Sexton, his role and his tier here, obviously a diamond card. Sexton is playing that Damien Hardwick halfback flanker role, which I would not have picked in the slightest coming into 2024. A lot of competition for footy down the back. I mean, Lockie Wheeler, we spoke about him very briefly just before. If he finds his way back into the team, he might find himself in defense or on the wing where we saw him last year.
Yep, spot on.
Might slot in for Brandon Ellis. You've obviously got Connor Budrick, Will Powell, Bodie Uland, younger guy, coming out of defense as well. So a lot of competition for the footy. But Sexton, Diamond, in his current role, you can't turn that down. So I'll take the right side once more.
Absolutely. And I agree. I think Diamond, Sexton, the potential that he has, I think it's a higher risk play. But again, like
the ceiling.
Let's take it. Let's take that ceiling, hey? Footy's back. Kerm. It's been awesome.
It's back, mate.
It's back. We're
finally. You feel that feeling? You feel that feeling?
I feel it in the air. It's very like, for me especially, because my Swans are about to play. I've got my All-Star Golden.
Yep.
I've got some players that, I need to hope they play well. I'm just so pumped. I'm so pumped. For everyone here, we've got 44 people in the live stream. Thanks so much for coming out. Definitely make sure that you come back next week because I promise you I'll have better cards to give away. And if I don't, then I might have to open up another package too because that wasn't as planned. But we'll continue to give out card giveaways all season. I'll be listing those cards on the transfer market for a cent. Kerm, mate, any final thoughts before we head into this round, mate? I can't bloody wait.
No, just thank you once more for everybody tuning in. So many people from last year back with us again in 2024, and hopefully we can grow some more and build the community up a little bit more. And good luck to everybody who's got some cards playing tonight, which I'm sure is just about everybody who's watching right now.
Yeah, let us know. Surely everyone's got a card playing tonight.
You got to think. You got to think.
You have to be. But all right, Kerm, without further ado, we've got 5 minutes until first bounce. Everyone, go grab a drink. Quickly go to the bathroom. Get ready for the game because it's time. Let's get it, man. I'm so excited. Thank you all so much for coming out. We'll see you next week at the show and then in the live stream as well. Peace out, everyone.